A long line has formed, snaking around the block as people wait to use this Mexico City bank's ATM. All across this country, long queues at the cash machine can mean only one thing: it's payday. And when the pay arrives, the vast majority of Mexicans move immediately to withdraw the balance in cash. David Barrios, a healthcare worker in a nearby hospital, is using his lunch break to withdraw his entire paycheck.
Tenemos una mala cultura que cuando nos depositan dinero que nos depositan, dinero que lo gastamos. Que los mexicanos regularmente tenemos la creencia de cuando tenemos el dinero tenemos el control de nuestras vidas. No es como en otros países que depositan y solamente gastan el 70, el 80% de sus ingresos y lo demás lo ahorran y lo invierten. Sino aquí todo lo contrario, lo que nos dan, guárdalo y en tu colchón. Sí, el efectivo sigue siendo rey.
¿Cuánto cuesta?
In the modern digital marketplace, Mexico is one of the last bastions of the cash economy. Only a third of adult Mexicans actually have a formal bank account. 93% of all financial transactions are still made in cash, according to the country's central bank. And that is becoming problematic, above all due to one vital economic factor: remittances. Foreign currency, mainly US dollars, 10 million transactions a month, sent by Mexicans working abroad, 94% of which are withdrawn immediately in cash. Remittances accounted for more than $40 billion in 2020 and are predicted to hit nearly $50 billion in 2021, over 4% of the country's total GDP and the Mexican economy's largest source of foreign income. In an age when digital banking is a necessity, moving this vital economic sector online is a major challenge. Nashville, Tennessee, 3,000 kilometers from Mexico City. This US state's total population numbers just a quarter of the Mexican capital's. Nevertheless, it's home to a large Hispanic community. In Franklin, an hour to the south of Nashville, Rogelio Ruiz has lived for 25 years. He moved here from his hometown of Susutla in central Mexico when he was still a teenager.
Tenía yo 16 años, antes cargaba eso y me ganaba 50 pesos el día. Pues no iba a poder mantener a ninguna familia así. Por eso que fue que me decidí a decirle a mi papá, que en ese entonces estaba aquí en Estados Unidos.
Today, Rogelio is a US citizen and runs his own construction company. The economic difference here is immense.
Es el triple, o puede ser hasta más. Creo que como americana, nuestros ingresos son lo básico.
The basic salary for a construction worker here is $10 an hour, compared to $10 a day south of the border.
México tendría esos $100. Es una gran diferencia. Entonces, ¿cuál es nuestra ganancia del hispano en Estados Unidos? Es mandando nuestro dinero hacia nuestros países para poder rendirlo y construir las cosas más grandes. Cada 15 días, para mi mamá, que es cada 15 días.
Using digital banking services, Rogelio sends a large part of what he earns to Mexico. His regular transactions, part of an enormous economic flow which represents Mexico's largest income of foreign currency, overtaking oil exports 3 years ago.
Aquí tengo plantas de sombra. Esta es nuestra casa mía, 35 años.
Rogelio's mother, Leonor, who still lives in the house where she raised her son, receives Rogelio's money every 2 weeks.
Mis hijos mandan dinero 2,500 al mes. Rinde, yo lo hago rendir mucho.
The money Rogelio sends goes a lot further in his mother's neighborhood than his own. $10 worth of tomatoes, a dietary staple in both countries, will buy just over 1.5 kilos in a Nashville supermarket. In a similar establishment in Mexico, those dollars converted at the current exchange rate of 200 pesos will buy nearly 4 kilograms.
Y siempre compro lo indispensable que vamos a comer al día. No me gusta tirar y desperdiciar la comida.
Indeed, rural communities across Mexico with high rates of economic emigration have come to depend almost entirely on US dollars sent from America. And that causes problems, and not only due to the distance Leonor has to travel just to reach the nearest bank, more than an hour away.
Entonces yo me traslado a Tecamachalco. Entonces tomo una combi de acá que me cobran 16 pesos de ida. Y con la misma me regreso con mucho cuidado porque hay mucho rata.
Mexico's worsening situation with organised crime has led local gangs to see older people carrying their monthly budgets in cash as easy prey.
O sea, salen del banco y llevan su niño cargando y ya de pronto lo alcanza un muchacho y le pone algo acá atrás a la señora y le dice, dame el dinero que traes. Y entonces dice, o te quito el hijo. Es seguro que la del banco ya le echó la habladita, porque ¿cómo vas a ver que esta señora trae dinero?
But Leonor is by no means the only one to live through the ups and downs of economic migration. Indeed, the 10 million plus Mexican-born immigrants living in the United States today have unwittingly become one of Mexico's most important workforces. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic and against all economic predictions, remittances to Mexico rose in 2020, breaking $40 billion and becoming the country's largest source of foreign income. It's a vital stabiliser for the economy. Jaime Marquez is an economist who has watched the phenomenon with interest.
Las remesas son el segundo ingreso más importante de México. Así que de los mexicanos que viven en Estados Unidos, aproximadamente un poco más del 70% mandan dinero a México. Y de eso, aproximadamente un 30% de su salario es el que manda como remesa, ¿no? A su familiar.
And the trend isn't slowing down. US dollar remittances to Mexico are predicted to hit nearly $49 billion in 2021.
La remesa está dirigida mucho a un tema emocional. Derivado de la pandemia y los problemas que se estaban viviendo aquí en México, pues ahora sí que naturalmente el número de las remesas pues empezó a crecer, ¿no? Pues,
Pagaphone, a Mexican fintech startup, an abbreviation of financial technology, is aiming to bring the country towards the digital economy. A money transfer service which allows users to hold balances in both currencies and transact with bank transfers and debit cards. It's led by CEO Ulises Tejes.
In today's remittance market in Mexico, we receive 10 million remittances a month. 94% of those 10 million remittances a month are paid out in cash, which is not a very experience for the beneficiaries. That is what we're changing in Mexico.
Bringing Mexicans closer to digital banking and away from the dependence on cash is an important task for this country's economy.
Having a bank account, for example, creates savings. If somebody has $1,000 in their drawer or under the mattress, it's much easier that they will spend it in things that they don't even need. Now, Mexicans don't need to go to a branch office of a bank to open an account. They can 24/7 do it at the comfort of their homes. So financial inclusion is key, and all the governments at all levels in Mexico are focused in financial inclusion.
As for the ultimate goal of achieving a cashless society, such trends will happen, this fintech company believes, at the micro level.
The small towns will be the first ones to operate cashlessly, not the large cities. It is easier to change the economy in a small town than in a 20 million inhabitant town. So we're focused also on that because we believe that the change will come from these remote locations that get remittances, and you can create a digital ecosystem to pay digitally, cashlessly, get paid instantly, and using obviously technology and improving the customer experience.
Stay. Go.
Living and working in the US has allowed Rogelio not only to provide for his family, but to have a better quality of life. But however this country might have changed the trajectory of his life, he doesn't want to stay.
Es muy diferente la vida a comparación de México, pero igual manera no me pienso quedar aquí a mi vejez. Espero que me pueda retirar algún día y ir a vivir a México.
Indeed, while Tennessee may have been his home for nearly 3 decades, his heart has remained in Mexico.
Ahorrar dinero, he tratado como lo que he hecho ahorita últimamente en construir México.
He's bringing that quality of life back home with him.
Pues bueno, esta es la casa que llevo haciendo.
Here, on a vacant lot beside his childhood home, he has built the house to which he will retire, a 4-story mansion built with the money he has earned in America. His dollars here don't only buy more tomatoes than they would in Nashville.
En Estados Unidos una casa de esta magnitud saldría yo con alrededor de $1,5 million de dólares. Y sin embargo la casa aquí llevaría como unos $1,5 million a $2 millones, pero de pesos. Entonces una diferencia enorme.
Rogelio will return to Mexico one day, but for his productive years they will be spent in America.
Me siento orgulloso de lo que he hecho. Es mi casa, estuve haciendo otra casa en Tecamachalco. Y tengo otros proyectos a futuro más grandes. Pero Dios es que me dé salud y trabajo.
Ojalá ya para la siguiente vez ya me traigas a mis niños.
For his mother, alone in the meantime, she has a wish for the future of her country.
A mí me gustaría que no hubiera esa cantidad de gente emigrando a orillas del río. Yo quisiera que este pueblo y que todo el país se saliera adelante aquí, porque así sería un país de primer mundo, porque lo tenemos todo. Somos un país rico, pero no lo sabemos aprovechar. O como que aunque sea en un sueño, yo quisiera ver a mi México en primer mundo y que un mexicano diga: no necesito ir allá para hacer mi casa, no necesito ir a otros lados. Aquí la voy a hacer. Aquí. Esa es mi respuesta.